with that in mind. So welcome everyone, and anyone who is listening to this recording later, thank you for making the time and the space. This will be the first call of a series where we're going to be working with the sacred fire to catalyze a deeper transformation and deeper coherence which involve Hypha and seeds. And also to really help us all to go through the growing pains, which are natural. We've all been children. We remember how that was, and especially when the bones start growing, that can be very painful. And I think we are in that right now as well. So this is really for all of you, that the fact that you're here shows that you have great love for everything that we're doing. And I just really want to honor everyone who has come and also anyone who's making the time to listen to this later. And I'm going to ask all of you also for the next calls to please come. Just your presence already in itself is a great commitment and is adding sacred fire to fire where we need to have that. Yeah? So with that in mind, I would like to ask us all to just take a few minutes to get really present, really centered. Wonderful. And I'm going to guide us through a little fire ceremony. So if you want, you may close your eyes. For those of you who are listening to this recording later, if you are driving, make sure to do this later. Yes, so just make sure that you're in a place where you can participate, where you can receive, where you can just be present and without any distractions. Good. Now let's take a deep breath in. Just connecting with your purpose of being and breathing out, letting go. And breathing into this beautiful vibration of trust. Trusting in you, trusting in your path, trusting in your purpose, and trusting in what you've been entrusted with from the future for what we are building together today. And just feel how sacred that is, that you are being trusted with a little holographic world that through your love and your care and through our love and our care together can become a whole world and a full reality for how we live here on this planet, co-creatively with Mother Earth and the larger universe that we are part of. Understanding as well that what we are going through together right now is also a fractal of something else that's happening in the world, because we are all in this process together, living into the questions together, feeling also the discomfort at times and the joy. And just check in for a minute right now with your own commitment to this process, your commitment to your personal growth and transformation, your commitment to our growth and transformation, and also your commitment to face the challenges together, to seek the solutions together, to heal together, to cry together, to laugh together, to be human together, to wisen up together, and sometimes just to be silly together. And may this togetherness bring us joy and love and wisdom and wonder and new perspectives, new insights. Just like you to feel that pure essence of togetherness. And as you connect with that pure essence of togetherness, of heartful togetherness, I ask you now to spread that as a beautiful wave of love through the whole community that we form part of and all the communities that we help to form together. Just send it around as a beautiful wave of love. And receive from each other that pure essence of togetherness. And now I'd like you to imagine that among us, in our center, as we form a circle together, within the heart of this center is a cauldron with a sacred fire. It's a huge cauldron, a huge pot. It's so big that we can put all of our issues in there. And this cauldron with a sacred fire underneath it serves a very special purpose. It's an alchemical fire that is designed and created to transmute and transform our pain, our worries, our difficulties, our hardships.
So,
And as it transmutes and transforms any of the heaviness, anything that's no longer serving or requiring healing, it returns the energy that you put into you as wisdom, new understanding, purified energy, new perspectives, and new abilities. So I'm going to ask you right now to put in this cauldron, to put in this fire, anything that you feel needs healing, transmutation, transformation. And you can bring into this anything that is yours as well as anything that you have felt from or for the collective that we're working with. Yes, put it in. And as we put it in, the sacred fire and the water with nourishing and healing herbs is alchemizing all that enters this fire and this water, purifying it. And as we each represent as a holum, both seeds and Hypha, you may also put in there now, on behalf of the whole, whatever requires healing, support, transformation, transmutation. And as it transforms and transmutes and heals, the sacred water and fire will send back to the whole community this energy purified, more conscious, more whole, more actualized. Very good. So when you're ready, you may open your eyes and we're going to continue to sit around this cauldron as we will be sharing now in this circle in a loving way. And as we're going to be sharing with each other, you may open your eyes. I will ask for each of you after you have spoken, if you can then put your message, your words, your feeling again into the cauldron. Rose, I will ask you to share first, since you need to leave soon, so that you have an opportunity to share your voice. I'd like to ask you to share whatever you feel needs to be heard or seen. Anything else you feel like sharing?
Thank you, Anneloes. What's really present for me right now, particularly today, is this sense of having one foot in the old way of doing things and one foot in the new, into these uncharted waters, these very different ways of creation from the collective rather than from the aggregation of the individuals, in a way that really enables the whole to become greater than the sum of the parts. And to me, it's very clear that the things that are going on in the world right now are really calling forth that collaborative capacity. And all of the challenges that entails. There are the people who are pointing the way, like you, Anneloes, and just got off a call with Rich Bartlett, who was talking to Samara, and really appreciating that wisdom while recognizing that there's still this flip-flopping between the old way and the new way, and the default still often feels like going back to the old way. And there are strengths in the old way. There are parts of that that we would want to carry forward, but it's like the old way is the executive function and the future way is the I'm just going to quote you here, Anneloes, like, you know, the magnet of that vision pulling us forwards. It's not building on the foundation of the old. It's allowing something completely new and radical to magnetize us into the emerging future. That's not always feeling easy, to put it mildly, but to be sort of flippant about it, you know, if changing the world was easy, everybody would be doing it. So just when I get frustrated with things, just trying to keep my eye on that vision and knowing that there are wonderful people on this journey, and we're going and growing and learning together. And it's wonderful to be here with these fellow pioneers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For adding your beautiful wisdom. I'll ask you as well, and I'll ask that from everyone. What is the one quality that you would say is really so you, that you bring to this transformation process? What's in one word, what quality would that be?
Myself.
And yeah,
Only the quality we each possess.
Yeah, I do want you to be more specific, not yourself. I'm asking for the quality, like it could be curiosity, can be love, can be care, can be wisdom, can be playfulness.
Can I just offer mine before I've still got a few minutes. It's not one word, but I suppose tenacity, ability to do big, daunting things that most people don't want to do.
Perfect. Very good. David, since it's coming forth from you, so let's go to you next.
One word, it's encourage.
Courage. Wonderful. Yes, yes. And is there anything you would like to speak to this process?
So my understanding of this process was more an individual kind of, what is it many of us have been on this journey for about a decade, and there are traumas that we've picked up along the way from trying to better the world. A lot of the time we felt isolated and alone. And then we've come together into this collective, this community, but we've come with our scars, we've come with our wounds, we've come with our hurts that for some of us haven't fully resolved. And so when we're saying if it was easy to change the world, as Roz was saying, everyone would be doing it. If everyone was doing it, then it would be easy. So how does everyone plug into that? I sense in this, I put my vulnerability on the table. I failed more epically than most people fail in their lifetime. I aimed extremely high. I went into Africa and played king, essentially. Tried to help a region out of famine and poverty, and a number of them, and went through this process. And there was one in particular who, a year after, I broke down in tears, and I went through chronic PTSD because they went into famine, and there were certain choices that I could have made at the time that could have changed the trajectory of that region. And you and I, Anneloes, have spoken about some of these things, but that is a pain that I've not been able to transmute. It's something that has shaped my character, but also harmed me from fully embracing what this Renaissance movement is. I'm still in the mode of revolution. I'm still in the mode of us against them. I'm still in the mode of shouting against the injustice, banging my just I'm still in the hurt of all that happens when these systems and these structures go wrong, when you try your best but you meet with people who lack integrity. So what I put in terms of my wanting to heal is I don't know how to take the energy that I've been working with these past 10 years on economic justice, on revolution, on change, on Indigenous people having a fair share for their development, and turn that into a beautiful Renaissance message, as you've been asking me to do. So that's an area of healing where I'm trying to grow.
Thank you, and I really appreciate your vulnerability and honor, your feelings. I'd like to ask you as well to that energy that you said that you haven't known how to transform it into a Renaissance message. Can you put it in the cauldron and let the cauldron transform it in a way that it becomes meaningful and useful to you and aligned with your purpose, and it will return it to you? Yeah, very good. That's it. That's it. And that is supported by our collective love and wisdom. So that you don't have to take care for the transformation of this one, because it is larger than yourself. Receive the support of the transformative forces and then receive it back. That I think will help you a lot. Yeah. Very good. Danny, would you like to go next?
I'm really touched by the way how both Ross and David were bringing together the vision or the sharing of what they envision for seeds, Hypha, whatever we're growing here into, and then also the personal stories and stuff. So I will try to follow that example. So for me personally, the quality first that came up is, for me, it's always love. And then the first impulse was, okay, what does it mean in this context? And then trust came. So the trust that everything we're going through here on a personal level, but also on a collective level, is an unlearning and learning and exploring and co-creating and, the beautiful sharing of we can envision, but we don't even know whether what we envision is what will come out of it, if we are really trusting and really letting go of everything, maybe even, you know, understanding what we're in it to do. So being a spiritual being in a human body, I understand that I came here to play as a human being and make experiences that will help me evolve, but also help the collective evolve. So I'm here to serve, and then also to learn to loving myself as a human being as much that even failures or even, you know, things where I'm getting angry about myself are things I need to love and trust that it's good for the process. So when I mirror that, or when I project that on my personal journey in seeds, and what I'm observing right now is exactly, you know, what you were also talking about, and is the growing pains, and that even we can feel the bones, and how is it evolving. And there's very often where I feel like, oh no, it's my responsibility now to kind of control this, or to direct this, or to thrive it, or to whatever, you know, direct energies onto it, which is totally wrong. And yesterday I had a really beautiful experience in our circle, because this gravitation power, the energy, it's just the like sum of everything that's happening, all of us, everything around us, and it's not on one of us. So we can let go, what you were just experiencing, David, with Anneloes, in this beautiful sharing of just giving it to the collective energy and trusting that it will transform in something really beautiful. So yeah, I feel I want to stop. I don't even want to go more concrete in stuff. It's really the feeling of trusting, of loving everything there is, including the pain and including the felt separation or whatever, and really trusting that in the end we're all here because of exactly what we're doing right now. And that's beautiful.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Beautiful message. Mark, how about you?
I was thinking, I just read last night a adorable, lovely short story that I saw on Nyla's Working Out Loud page called The Egg. And it was just so lovely and connecting as to who we are. So I was feeling that and thinking that as we were doing our meditation. And in the emerging chaotic world of Hypha and seeds, I believe that there is something that is important that is happening, that I am supposed to be here. And at the same time, I'm finding, you know, how can I have effective voice and also honor my own space and my own time. So that, for me, that's what I'm putting into the cauldron, is that my voice is useful, and that I also honor my own human needs in my own space, in my own farm, in my own family.
I love your message of balance. I think that's really important. Very good. And Nina, would you like to share?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was, God, that short story, Mark, has kind of, I keep coming back to it for like the last 10 years or so. If you haven't seen it on my wall, go check it out. But it's Andy Weir, The Egg, is a short read. What came through for me was love as well. And like Danny, I tried to dive into what that meant in this particular sense. And it was more for me a lack of judgment. We cannot know what someone else's traumas are, or what their experiences are, or what they're coming with, wisdom or traumas. So trying to dissect someone else's reasons for doing what they're doing is just a waste of everyone's time. And judging that is like an added layer of waste of time. If we remove that, then we are free to act, to act with love, but also receive feedback with love. So if someone's like, I love and respect you, and I think you're a great person, not sure that this is necessarily the project that we need to be focusing on, and saying that, oh, okay, I feel love and respected. With that love and respect, I'm going to take this and change it to be something that's more aligned with what we're working on. So in respect for all of this, I really think we could all benefit from more of that, less judgment, more love, in all aspects of what we're doing.
Thank you for adding your wisdom. Very good. Communication, indeed, meaningful communication that makes it safe. And that also makes it safe sometimes to say, not like this, but let's propose something else. So yes, very, very good. George. Oh, wait, sorry. And your quality. What's the most important quality that you bring?
So maybe you have a better word for this, but I was like, lack of judgment. How do you make lack of judgment not a lack thing, but like a both thing?
It can be compassion.
Compassion. Yes, then I'll
Compassion.
go with compassion.
Good. And Mark, did we hear your quality?
Yeah, I forgot about that, but I guess my quality that I want to show up with all the time is a combination of attention, paying attention, and thought, intelligence. You know, attention with intelligence.
Nice. Yes. That's good. George.
Thanks. Well, being a surfer, I just feel that, it's important to align with nature. So alignment, and then having my interactions be healing, where I take in the systems that I'm interacting with, and look at how I can be healing and conducive to their thriving. So that kind of covers it. Thanks.
And is there anything else that you want to speak to the circle, George, or that you want to add to the cauldron, or anything that you've been sensing or seeing that you feel either needs support or seeking transformation?
I think that for me, the most important thing is that we're aligning human opinion with cosmic reality, and that our biggest risk is to think too small at this time. I truly feel we're setting a foundational layer of the future, and that we're brought together to do that, and that trusting that universe has a role for us, and that if we remain in harmony and in love, that we will be on that path. And we may not understand how that path will come together for a while, but once we look back, as a lot of things in our lives, we will see that we were doing exactly what we thought, what we needed to do in order to get us to where we got.
That's beautiful.
Hey, George, sorry to interject. So I've been on calls and joyful experiences with George since we first met, just about the same time I met Anneloes in the same gathering with Stephen. And I've heard you say many, many times, the biggest risk is thinking too small, and the wisdom of Buckminster Fuller that has come through in many ways that I've taken in from you. But I just put together that the greatest risk is that we're thinking too small. It's the same thing that I always used to vocalize as, anything that is possible, the universe can do, and it's only me that might constrain it. All of a sudden it just occurred to me that, don't limit the universe, So I
Yeah.
just realized they were the same.
Well, it's also don't limit, human potential. I mean, at one point we celebrate these incredible feats that humans can pull off, Roz being one of the people, Olympians, engineers, and so forth. And then the other side, we look at people that are dying in the streets from starvation, and we trust systems in order to make sure that those things are reconciled. We want this idea of things working, and at the same time we have these things we see that aren't working, and then we have to look back at who did we trust? Why did we trust these people that obviously don't get it? And then you go back to the discovery doctrine, and you find all different reasons of how we got to this place. So we've got a few mistakes we've made. Let's correct them and go on. That's how you make it.
Thank you so much. Stephen.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I've been going since 5 a.m. I hope I'm still coherent. I'm a really deeply spiritual person, and when I was 11 years old, I had this incredible nirvana kind of experience in which I had a direct experience of what you might call God. And for me, that experience was all about this incredible love that beyond any possible framing of words to describe it. I couldn't really, no matter how many times I try, I cannot really describe the magnificence of that time, which has since reoccurred again. But in that moment and those times of connection with the magnificent creation of love that created everything, I came away from that forever changed. And I had this deep, abiding trust in the wisdom and love of the cosmic plan, if you will, that we're all part of. And I never had fear again about anything. I just completely lost any fear about anything. And I really worked from then on to really understand and empower my intuition, and my intuition that connects with what Emerson called the oversoul, the web of life. That we're all connected to that. We're all this expression, these tiny sparks of God. We are that. And we are here expressing various facets of God ourselves. That's who we are as human beings. We're that. And so that means we're creators ourselves. Each one of us, we're creators. We can create anything we actually want without limitation. So what I bring as my gift is my deep connection to intuition and trusting that, and trusting the wisdom of the universe to always guide us to the highest and best purpose for all in love.
That's beautiful. And is there anything you like to speak to the cauldron or add? Because you're in a lot of circles, and so you see and experience a lot of the seed and Hypha being. So is there anything that you would like to add to the cauldron for healing, transformation?
You know, I have a deep empathy for the suffering of humanity, and humanity is going to endure a lot of suffering as we go through this transition. And I look out at that. I was in the Peace Corps in Brazil, in this village with no running water, no anything. And I saw all these human beings having tremendous suffering, dying from malnutrition, right in my village. And that pain of feeling that, I carry with me. And I would like not to feel that, but I do feel it. And my intuition tells me there's more suffering coming. COVID-19 is just part of it, but as a result of everything we've done as human beings to go down the wrong course, and now there's a course correction, I want to be part of what can help humanity to have less suffering. So that's my what I put in the cauldron.
Thank you very much. And so, yes, I speak for me then. The quality that I bring is my commitment and dedication, love for the unborn futures. That's very much where I live always. I sense what's not yet been born and the conditions required for it to be able to come into the world, including our future consciousness. Because what I've seen in the children is that they are, I'd almost say, designed or wired quite differently from us. They have a phenomenal creativity, but they think and sense in different ways. There's certain lessons they don't have to repeat. And therefore it's so important, I see with what we are doing, that kind of building the bridges so that those beautiful beings are able to truly flourish and bring forth that gift and not getting squashed by the density and the severity of the systems, but and also, you know, it's literally like bringing in newborn qualities of ourselves and abilities that are still fragile in the midst of collapse. So imagine a woman high pregnant, 9 months, buildings around her are collapsing. She doesn't know if there's going to be food on the table or not. And she knows she has to birth that child. And that once birth contractions start, there's no way back through. You just have to go through, because if you give up, the mother will die and the child as well. That's how I see where we are at right now. Also resonating with Stephen was talking about, the suffering that we are seeing. So knowing that we are the solution we've been waiting for, there is no way back through. There is no out, there is no planet B. This is it, and we are it. And this is the time. Yeah, I see that in all of you, such love and commitment to that same process. I also would like to give to the cauldron is and I want to actually speak that to our collective unconscious of all who are listening to this part of this process with Hypha seeds, is an even deeper courage to go into the darker areas of our own unconscious as a collective, to have an even, you know, I feel what I can sense in the being is that the bigger elephant in the room hasn't been spoken yet. And when I go onto Discord, I read the conversations of frustration. I see the comments, and there is for me a disconnect between someone else now joining. There's a wire that we're missing between this beautiful love and the gentleness and the care, and some of the other experiences that somehow we're also part of, but maybe unknowingly or unconsciously are also co-creating. And I'd like to invite us even into a deeper sense of courage together, to really dare to explore also those next layers of vulnerability, the next layers of what doesn't feel very comfortable. Because the greater our capacity to see that, to bring it to light, and to actually listen, maybe there is a message. It's like right now, what are we doing with extremism, polarization, division, hardening? That's also part of us. We're all in this together. So what can happen if we open up those places to also those voices, and that by our love and by our inclusivity, it then starts to transform? Because often in these communities, we like each other so much and we feel so safe that we almost become a particular color or vibration that can feel like an in-group to those who don't resonate with that. We see so it's like, I want to challenge us to go further. How do we show up for the people who are completely skeptical, who don't believe in any of this, who think it's total nonsense, who don't believe in a better humanity, you know, who don't believe in any kind of future? So let us even grow our arms to all of those too. Yeah, that's what I'd like to speak. Randall, welcome. I can't see you. I don't know your first name, so there you are. Hi. You've just come towards the end.
Hello. Yeah.
You're welcome. So I think the best thing would be to later share the recording with you. Let me see. I'm just seeing a message also from Stephen. Was there something that you wanted to mention, Stephen?
No, I was just letting you know the reason I was I was on the call, but I was talking with Mark, and I already let Mark Epstein know that we have a time and place. And I want to just let you know that that's set now. Thank you for making that, bring it to our attention.
Perfect. So Randall, what's your first name?
Oh yeah, that's my first name, Randall.
Oh, that is your first name. Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
glad. So welcome. What we've been doing here is going through a beautiful process of healing and transformation. We've been creating a sacred cauldron in the center of our presence, and where we put in what we have been feeling and sensing and what we feel needs transformation. Also, we've been reflecting on the qualities that we are each bringing to this deeper process of learning and unlearning together, and being able to also give a voice to some of the growing pains, so that we can actually name it for what it is. And we're also moving into an even deeper place of authenticity, you know, with that it's okay to name some of the things also that we're not happy with, or that we would like to see changes in, or things that we say, well, it's all very nice, this future and all beautiful, but sometimes the old may feel easier because there's more structure in there. So we are kind of going through that process of speaking to that. So I'd like to just bring you into this as well. We are just completing it in about 5 minutes, but I just want to ask you, what do you feel is your kind of core strength and key quality that you're bringing to this process of building this this Renaissance movement and a new civilization?
Yeah, well, I think what I bring is like big hope for the change to happen, and the possibility for us or myself to contribute to let people discover themselves and go over the paradigms that we're trying to break on how we can act more attuned to nature and our inner or sacred calling to help just bring joy to humanity. So I'm just hoping that I can that I can bring this to happen too, just putting my part and helping people see each other's also being part of this and helping working all together. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
That's
And
beautiful.
I ask where Randall's from?
Oh, I'm from Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. So is that, in closing, is there anything anyone else would like to share or speak?
I actually wrote something down that kind of was coming through pretty powerfully. And I'm going to write it on my wall as well, but we use this phrase, be the change you want to seed. And it was just like, I had this really amazing guide come into my life a few years ago, who wrote a book called The Bee Book. And it's all about, if you want to be beautiful, be beauty. If you want to be graceful, be grace. If you want to be smart, be intelligence. And it was kind of like that combined with be the change you want to seed. And I just wrote down, we have to be the compassion we seek, be the love we yearn for, be the listeners, be the doers, be the open-hearted, welcoming, transforming, awesome citizens that we are looking for.
Love that. Perfect message. That's wonderful. Anyone else who would like to share?
I just asked Randall to send me his email address because I have something kind of important to discuss with him. So I put my email address in the chat to him. I just wanted to let him know before he signs off to send me his email address.
Danny.
I wanted to express my deep gratitude for everyone who shows up here. Not only here, but I just also feel that we're connected with everyone else in this. And I really love that we're opening these spaces more and more. I feel that's a big need also in our community, that we're coming from this space where we are coming with this understanding and feeling that these spaces are very, very valuable. And then sometimes we lose it when we're doing so many other things. So I'm super, super grateful that you're offering this, Anneloes and David and whoever was involved. And I can see there's more of these things popping up in Seeds in Hypha now, and I really, really love it. So yeah, thank you for that.
I also wanted to say to the women here in this meeting that I really appreciate your contributions and your courage to express yourself in this way and share your wisdom with the men, because I know that this forum is not necessarily open to that as much as I would like it to see it. And so I think it takes an extraordinary amount of love and motivation to step out and take those roles. And I, for one, deeply appreciate what you're bringing to the table.
Thank you. Thank you both. David, completion with you.
Wants me to conclude. It's a very great honor. I would go back to something that you said. You said we need an even deeper courage to go into the darker areas of our own conscious. And whilst our branches, as Jung said, do reach up to heaven, the roots within us very much reach down to hell. And it is, you know, it's I guess more than anything in establishing this sisterhood, brotherhood, this collective where we're the same soul in different garments, is trying to remove the separation that's between us, trying to really come to the depths of that humanity. And Stephen, what you said moved me, and many of us have had these direct, incredible experiences, but we are each that consciousness charting our path through the infinite to the divine, and all of us a unique path, a unique perspective, and a unique perception, because otherwise everything would be repetition. So with it's in this incredible feeling of these souls coming together, but sometimes it's not the divine experiences that have inspired me so much as the adversity they've overcome, the scars of really, in spite of seeing the depth of cruelty of humanity, what has enabled you to believe so much in this tipping point, in this renaissance? And I ask from a genuine place of trying to celebrate who you are as individuals, just really celebrate the journey that you've been on. I really would like to know the thing that most inspired you in your lives, that story that, wow. But then the thing that really, you know, the thing that almost broke you, or maybe did break you. I would like to connect with you on a human level. I would like to know your strengths. I would like to know your deepest weakness as well. And so how we can stand with arms together, supporting one another in a very sophisticated way to achieve these things. So I will fully, in the next session, bare my soul in the hope that it encourages us to unite in an even deeper way.
Perfect. Thank you. That's the perfect closing. So with that, I really want to thank all of you so much. Thank you also for your trust. And I'm really looking forward to our next times together, whenever that is. I send you all my love, and let's all go and mute.
Bye-bye.
And let's spread this wonderful love that we've been creating here together. Let's spread it to the whole seeds, Hypha, and then into the world. You know, be these butterflies. So
Bye.
that's it.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
Love and light. Aloha.
Bye bye.